From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. America. I am Keith Allen, and proudly welcoming you into this Tuesday's edition of For the People on October the 17th, 2017. We got a big show lined up for you. We got hour one, and cloudy skies here in Tampa. Kind of cooling down just a little bit, getting a little rain here. It's been scorching over here, hoping for some rain in Northern California, where they need it in wine country. Unfortunately, they are getting some rain, but it's a little too late. They've been praying for rain. I have been attempting, for those that have lived in Northern California, to do an Indian dance for you. They have this Indian rain dance, and I don't know if there's any other name to call it. Maybe that's something different in Indian language. I don't know, and it depends, too, on what tribe, and I don't know if all the Indians partake of that. Farmers may have done it. But you've heard that when you were growing up, right? Do an Indian dance when you need the rain. Our prayers sincerely go out to the folks in California that have lost their homes, have lost their businesses. A lot of loss this year for a lot of people in a lot of places in the United States, outside of the United States. And sometimes it kind of makes us feel a little overwhelmed with all of it, to be quite honest with you. But it is nice to know that there are generous people out there willing to lend a hand and help a perfect stranger. And it's comforting to know, because eventualities of these things will continue. I mean, if you go on to FEMA's website, they'll tell you to, and they've been saying this for years, to hope for the best. We should always do that, but plan for the worst. And we should always have some type of survival plan and have some gear. And I am in the process of putting together a little pamphlet and also putting together a kit of must-have items that everyone should have, and a checklist so you can put together from pretty much collaboration from some of the most leading survivalists of our time, and things that you should have, and you'd be surprised at some of the things that they've come up with. Amazing stuff, but we'll be presenting that as well. We have some great announcements. They're going to be coming up with a great company. I can't mention it now, but going to be teaming up with us. But I have to try something out first to make sure that it all works out the way that we think it's going to, a product that I'm kind of excited about. So I'll give you some more details because they want us to, in like any product, we have to make sure that we like it, we believe in it, it works, and we're satisfied with it, because if we're not satisfied with it, you're not going to be satisfied with it. And so, and they said, a lot of hosts, they'll pretend that they like the stuff, but they want us to use it, and that's the way we're going to be with every product, every service that we would advertise on this broadcast. I am very proud of these coffee mugs. I got to tell you, I haven't stopped drinking out of it since it's been shipped off to me here. But the For the People coffee mug, and if you've gotten yours, what most people tell me, it looks so much better than they even thought. It's just so glossy and classy looking, with the logo, the For the People, the flag, and with Keith Allen underneath it. It's very patriotic, but it reminds you to tune into the broadcast each and every day for your good daily infusion of common sense. John McCain, let's just get into it. speaking out against what he calls, and you're not going to believe this, I definitely have some thoughts of my own, half-baked nationalism. Well, let's listen to John McCain. Let's put this in proper context, shall we? John McCain made these remarks you're about to hear yesterday at the 2017 Liberty Medal from former Vice President Joe Biden. That's Joe at the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia. And this is what John McCain said. You can speak, sir. Please.
To fear the world we have organized and led the 3/4 of a century, to abandon the ideals we have advanced around the globe, to refuse the obligations of international leadership and our duty to remain the last best hope of Earth, for the sake of some half-baked, spurious nationalism cooked up by people who would rather find scapegoats than solve problems.
Wow, nationalism is bad. Didn't know that. Half-baked. They must be all baked there. Like that comment.
Is as unpatriotic as an attachment to any other tired dogma of the past that Americans consigned to the ass cheek.
Oh, the ass cheek. That was
We
good.
live in a land made of ideals, not blood and soil. We are the custodians of those ideals at home,
Yeah,
and their champion abroad.
yeah.
We've done great good in the world.
Yeah, we have.
That leadership has had its costs, but we have become incomparably powerful and wealthy as we did. We have a moral obligation to continue in a just cause,
Okay.
and we would bring more than shame on ourselves if we don't.
Yeah. I mean, thank you, John McCain. I mean, it's so contradictory. I mean, it's like the latter half of saying it would be a shame if we don't do nothing. We're wealthy, we're prosperous, we've done a lot of good. It's come at a great cost, great sacrifice. I mean, who could argue with that? But the outdated, spurious nationalism is half-baked. These ideas of patriotism, putting America first, this is outdated. This is half-baked. This is what the senator's saying. It's half-baked. So clearly, everything that Donald Trump ran on, and it's become very clear, abundantly clear to all of those that assumed that John McCain hates Donald Trump for what he stands for. You want to talk about unpatriotic? What he said, very unpatriotic. So it really does not come to a big surprise, as we know he was the stumbling block for healthcare not going through. He doesn't like Donald Trump's nationalist approach. He doesn't like putting America first. And guess who else didn't like that? Besides Bill Clinton? Barack Obama. They were pals. He liked Barack Hussein Obama. Yeah, he liked Obama. There is a book that came out several years ago, and you have to read it. Chuck interviewed this guy, the former host of the broadcast, several years ago, and it was called, and you got to look it up, still available on Amazon, The Planned Destruction of America. It's amazing if you listen to a speech and you listen to what they say, and he said it, and says it very, very well out loud, like Barack Obama did, or the New World Order, which H. Bush had put out. We live in a new world order, blah, blah, blah. We're all going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya. Meanwhile, Main Street gets poorer, and we become more rundown and not as well respected, and their leadership is greatly diminished. We are leaders. We used to lead. We used to do things. We used to do big things. We used to dream big dreams. All this Donald Trump has asked us to do was to dream in America and believe in America again, to stand for the national anthem, to love our country, to serve our country, to make our country better, greater, and have, yes, leaders that are willing to do the hard things and not have Republicans saying one thing and doing another. I don't understand why he just doesn't do himself a favor and bow out of the Republican Party, because he's more of a hindrance than anything. And early retirement, I think he needs it. I mean, early retirement, he served his time. I said, this guy needs to step down. Thank you, John McCain. Thank you so much. You're short-circuiting. If anybody's baked, it's you. You're baked. I don't know if the medication is affecting your brain, your frontal cortex. I don't know what it is. But the fear mongering going on, the garbage that's happening against Trump in the background, insulting the president, going against the president, as if Donald Trump doesn't have any idea that we live in a land made of ideals in his speech, not blood and soil. We are the custodians of those ideals at home and their champion abroad. Yeah, they're looking at us and they're listening to you, Mr. Senator. You are a proud recipient of some of that wealth that you've been able to accumulate as a senator. John McCain's not broke. He's very, very wealthy. Who's not is his poor residents there in Phoenix, Arizona, that can't even afford their medications thanks to him. This is how much he cares about his people that have voted him in again and again as the Maverick. Things have changed considerably in our country, and what has changed is the way that our country has been run from the inside and how it's been run into the ground. It's amazing what 8 years under poor leadership can do for our country. It's amazing. This is the kind of rhetoric from within his own party that he has to deal with. Still, this many years, it's not years yet, but almost. No friend at all of this president or the president's agenda, and I don't think that he's racked up too many good points, do you think? Some good news, by the way, for Puerto Rico. There's power packs and power walls and products that Tesla has shipped off to Puerto Rico to help the island, because reported last week in the New York Times, they say at least 84% of Puerto Rico remains without electrical power some 3 weeks after Hurricane Maria slammed the island and decimating the already troubled electrical infrastructure. What a sad state of affairs for Puerto Rico. But it is good news, I think, for the company Tesla, because if they can get people wired up, they're probably going to buy their cars if they can afford them. There's a lot of impoverished people in Puerto Rico. Tesla cars are not cheap, but they'll probably remember the good deeds of Tesla with the generators and power packs and trying to get people up. They've been shipping them, and employees shipped over there as well. We're installing the battery systems and helping residents there in Puerto Rico learn how to use these power cells to be able to have some electricity and get things going, which is a good thing. Great PR. I don't know if they get any tax breaks, I would imagine, as a result of this. But I think it's a beautiful thing. I don't see any balloons from Google yet getting the cell service. That was their idea, putting balloons up and having some equipment to get cellular service going, but that hasn't happened yet. I mean, I don't know if that's a pipe dream or a reality. It seems doable. But how would you run it? Some generator? Solar panels? How would that happen? It takes quite a lot of electricity to get one of these things going. And then what happens during storms? I mean, can it drift? How high will it be? A lot of questions that haven't been answered, but they said they have a plan. It just hasn't been